The fabulous Peugeot 405. I understand it was quite a shock that you found out that you had to build a car like that, wasn't it?
Yes, it was one of the last-minute things. We were asked to do it by Peugeot themselves for the front for their telethon, which was on the 20th of this month, or should I say last month. Yeah. And the car by then was just in a state of the actual body and the frame. We just got the frame back from B&H Autocraft down here in Doncaster, and it was a case of burning the midnight oil quite a lot, and then getting to the stage where we were lucky, and the fact that our boss that we work for allowed us to use the facilities of the body shop where we work to actually build the car on a night. But
do Peugeot get involved very much in this, or do they just want the end product, so to speak?
At the moment, Peugeot aren't involved in it at all.
Yeah.
But we are hoping that they're going to now take up. What we had to do was actually build a car to take to them to prove what it was. It was like nobody in this country really knows a lot about drag racing. Everybody's into rallying and things like that. So we had to build a car initially, instead of just taking some drawings down to them and saying, well, here you are, this is what we're going to build. Then they kind of laughed us off. Right. So we said, what we'll do is we'll put our own money into it, we'll build a car to a stage of actually running it, and then go and ask them for sponsorship.
Sponsorship would be very nice, I suppose, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah, it would be very nice. We have got a couple of other people that are interested in the car, but we would like to get through to Peugeot themselves.
Tell me briefly through the steps of building the car up from the standard 405 that you were given to start off with to the magnificent beast we have in front of us.
Well, it was basically a 405 body show which we changed about 12 months ago, and have been stuck behind the back of our factory. And we bought the frame from B&H Autocraft. They actually built it. We took the chassis, the body down to B&H. They built the frame underneath it, and we got that back. They supplied all the suspension parts and everything. We got that back in January, as I mentioned before, and then from there on it was a case of we had to build all the seat mountings, seatbelt mountings. The actual engine had to be put into place, mounted where we wanted it. An engine plate, because they are actually on rubber mountings like a normal car. It's a big plate that mounts on the front, and then that's bolted on the frame. That had to be up, down.
Is the original engine completely ripped out and a brand new one put in?
The original car, the body, there's no floor in it, and the bulkhead and everything's just taken out completely.
What sort of engine capacity are we talking?
It's 460 cubic inch Ford, which is around about 8 litres.
In addition to the car clubs, there are also motorcycle clubs here at Doncaster. They erect large stands just like their four-wheel counterparts.
Hey, with a few members of the Hull Street Freaks. So you are, sir?
I'm Mike Cartledge.
And you own which bike?
Lady Eleanor, the Black Harley.
Is that a Black Harley? How much work goes into cleaning this? Because, I mean, it's so highly polished.
Well, it rained on the way here. You could safely say there's approximately 5 hours to actually clean the thing to a show standard. And how absolutely blathered coming down.
How often do you clean it? It's just presumably before every show?
No, well, before every show, but I mean the bike does get used, you know, sort of road use normal.
Do you do much of the maintenance yourself?
I do all of it. I built it from scratch.
It's built entirely from scratch. You just got all the different parts.
It was from a basket case. It was literally, a crashed bike, rusty bits and pieces, and I just stripped it apart. And
do you allow anybody else to drive the thing?
No.
It's your bike.
It's my bike, yeah.
So I wanted to another member down here. You are, sir?
Shaggy.
You've got a Shaggy.
Yeah. That's that.
And you own one of the bikes over there, which we'll look at in just a little while. How often do you come down to shows like this? Do you get to as many as you can?
We do about 4 or 5 shows over the year, and a lot of the time we just do like smaller rod runs where we just ride off to little campsites over the weekends and just spend time with the bikes on show.
Right.
A lot of it's just for charity work, sometimes it's just for good fun.
How long have you been involved in this?
Personally, I've been with the club about 5 years, but like I said, the club's been going for 10, 11 years now.
Yeah.
And I've been in and out of it on and off beforehand, but this is the first serious club that I've been involved with.
What advantages do you get from being in a club like this?
It's good because you get people like Mike who can help out on parts that maybe I can't do, or you get other members of the club that do mainly the paintwork side of it, and then there's other members that do the welding or the fabrication side of it, and then we all club in together, help out. Everybody helps one another one way or another.
Okay, let's move on to the girlfriend who's sat cuddling him on his knee at the moment. Does he allow you to ride his bike yourself?
No, I can't reach the handlebars.
Would you if you could?
No, I don't think I'd dare really. No.
You come down to all the shows with him, presumably?
Yeah.
Is he raving mad? He looks it.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Let's talk about the set that we're surrounded in today. Who actually does all this artwork?
Well, basically, Kay does all the outline, and we sort of get the people that are less artistic get guidance on colour this bit in.
Who's Kay? Is she another member?
Kay's one of the girl members of the club who is involved heavily in the art side. She's a graphic artist by trade, and she's responsible for a majority of the murals and artwork that you see on the tanks.
Do you get a fair proportion of male to female members in the club?
Yeah.
More or less the same.
Yeah, it's a very equal-based club, yeah.
You have do a lot of charity work, I understand, as well. Eh?
We do charity functions, galas, you know, we normally get invited down to do things like that, yeah.
Who has all the ideas for this?
Well, again, it's a club idea. We decide on a main theme throughout the winter, throw a few ideas around if we don't like it or we don't think it's going to pull together. I mean, you'll be sitting there and somebody will come up with an idea, and if there's not much of a reaction, all of a sudden somebody hits the right button and everybody goes, yeah.
Well, we've been around the top of the balconies looking at all the scooters, and here's Neil. Neil, I see you're a member of the final few. How important is it to be a member of a club?
Ain't really important, but you know, if you're with a club, that's better. Because
do you sort of discuss different ideas and what actually goes off when you're a member?
Well, we just hold functions and all that, and ride up to rallies and all that with each other, and that's a lot better to be in a club because you're with people who you know and like. So.
What about the artwork down here? Is this something that you do yourself, or do you get somebody else to do it?
The man who done this has done nearly all these round here.
Right.
John Spurgeon from Norwich is sort of the top bloke in England. He sort of do all this sort of stuff.
As far as you're concerned, he's the only bloke to have, because there's quite a few people who do this sort of thing, isn't there?
Yeah, well, as I come from down Suffolk, he's the only one sort of near. The next one's about a couple 300 miles away, so really I have to go with him.
How old is this bike?
Well, that come out in 1984.
Yeah.
But I've only had it for about a year and a half. But when I had it, I had to have it all resprayed again because that was totally sort of chipped and dented and all that lot.
This is something that you can continually update and add new parts to it, isn't it?
Yeah, they're quite easy to put extra parts on. I had a couple more murals and all that put on it, and you can do it quite easily.
I suppose the disadvantage of that is it's never actually finished, is it?
Well, no, there's always something I want doing right.
Nick Stevens is the owner of this striking vehicle. Nick, the most striking thing is this fabulous design we've got on the front here. How was that actually done?
It's all airbrush work.
Do you airbrush it yourself?
No, a lad called Martin Sparks did all the artwork.
Yeah. I noticed that the living on the bread line, is that something that you feel particularly strongly about, or was it just a good design?
No, it's something that I feel strong about, really, yeah.
Now, we've got an original picture down here, and one that appears on the side of the bike, which we'll get in camera in a moment. Is that you just a case of giving the lad the picture and he spray paints it all up? How long does it take to actually do the design like this?
Well, I know it took him 2 days to do the leg shields, but the rest of the work I don't know. But I know it did take him 2 actual full days to do the leg shields.
Which is fairly quick, really, for the standard of the design, really. I know they noticed that you've not got many miles clocked up down here, just a half a mile we've got on the clock.
Brand new speed. I'm waiting for a plate to come back from the engravers lot. Right. So that's all going to be engraved, and I only got it on the road yesterday and all.
The whole bike is completely style. I mean, what, for example, the handlebars here, what's this made out of?
Aluminium.
That's aluminium just sprayed?
No, it's gold-plated. Right. It's all engraved and gold-plated.
Danny, is this the sort of thing that you do in your spare time, or is it sort of a full-time job?
Full-time, really. It's a full-time hobby.
Yeah. This started out as a straightforward, normal scooter, right?
No, it was one that was accident damaged. It's not right to cut a full frame down, because there's not very many of them about it. So it was done from an accident damaged machine.
Now, you actually had somebody else to do the whole thing for you, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
What was that?
Well, to do it myself, I'd have to maybe take time off work. Yeah. At the moment, I'm doing a lot of overtime to pay for it, so it's a catch-22.
Is it the sort of thing that, do you use this to drive about town?
No, I want to do a year on the custom circuits and then ride it on the road.
Right. Well, it's a fantastic vehicle. Enjoy the show, Danny. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
One of the most striking features of a customised vehicle is its paintwork and the artwork you can possibly find on there. This is not something that can be knocked together in a matter of hours. It takes a lot of thought and planning. We're lucky today to be able to talk to one of the artists that prepares the vehicles.
Dan here with K2 does the artwork for the